Oh man, there it is. It is Evo pickup day. What's up, y'all? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. We are picking up the Evo from the shop. Just got here after the guy left, and so he left the keys for us, so we're gonna take the car and get it back to the house. It's getting ready to come a big rain, big tropical storm, so have to get it home because we have no wipers. This thing fired right up, and might I say, it sounds healthy. So good. Let's get back here one more time. Oh yeah, okay, let's get on the road. All right, here we go. We gotta get back on the road. We're chasing, well, not chasing it, trying to avoid it, a tropical storm that's coming, and we have no wipers on the car, and I don't really wanna have the car out in the rain. I really don't wanna do that. I don't wanna get caught in the rain, nothing like that, so we're gonna try and beat this thing. First pull. Yes, sir. Let's do third gear here. That is crazy. Now it feels good. All right, y'all, it's a few days later and we're out here in the garage and it is in here safe and sound. The storms have passed, I do believe. We at least have today where it's not absolutely pouring the rain, so we're out here kind of checking everything out. But we did get caught in the rain a little bit on the way home, but it wasn't too big of a deal. They ran next to my windshield, so not having those wipers wasn't too big of a deal. We were almost home anyway, but yeah, aside from that, the car runs absolutely amazing. It is so strong, so powerful. I love having the car, like driving how it's supposed to and feeling how it's supposed to, and then just having it run the way it should. But yeah, if you guys have been following along, I'm sure you have a lot of questions as to what was going on with the car. So we're gonna go over a full list of all the things that were wrong with the car and what the shop found. Well, are you gonna say what was going on with the car or what? Oh yeah, the list, sorry. There is no list. The list of things that were wrong with the car is more or less a bullet point. They went over the car with a fine-tooth comb and they could not find anything major going on with the car, aside from a couple things. One, both my front strut towers were a little bit loose. They tightened those, and my rear axle nut was a little bit loose, and that was it. There was one thing that was my fault that he did find, and the plugs were not gapped properly. So he put a brand new set of plugs in there, they gapped them, and so those are in there now, and yeah, that was that. And that to me was just so good to hear, because I was a little worried about taking the car down there and they were gonna find just a bunch of stuff wrong with it, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Because like I said before, this is my first time building a car like this, basically from the ground up. And so all the issues that I was having, all I can do is blame myself and think that I did something wrong, because I don't have like a huge amount of experience just like building cars from the ground up like this. So the idea of me making a mistake somewhere or finding other things wrong with the car was a very high likelihood in my mind. Even though I went over the whole car, I know I did everything, like as far as like locking things down to torque spec. I marked every bolt. I did everything I could to be as detailed as possible. And so on the one hand, I knew how thorough I was, but I also knew that this is my first time building a car like this. And so there was bound to be something. And just to find out that there was just a few bolts that had vibrated loose, that to me was huge. I was one, pleased, and two, kind of like, okay, so what's the issue? And so they put the car on the dyno, and they did a baseline to see what the car was when it came into the shop, because they didn't build this car. They have no history for the car, so they wanted to see what the car came in at, and they ran a very quick baseline pull on it, and the car did terrible. It was not doing well at all. So the tune, they used the word wonky. They didn't want to get into it. They said, we're not going to sit here and like, whatever. But basically the tune was pretty ass on the car. It was just not running right. It was not putting down power. It was not doing anything that it should be doing. He said the car was insanely rich. The tables were shit, whatever that means. And he even asked, like, was this tune complete? And I was like, I mean, as far as I know, it was supposed to be a complete tune. Like, we had done everything up until that point, and so that was supposed to be like a final tune kind of thing. And so I was kind of scratching my head of like, to be asked, like, was this tune completed? Which the car running rich made a whole lot of sense because I actually brought that up because I'm making art with this shit. This is on a canvas. This is the splatter coming out of the exhaust that I'm gonna hang in the house. Like, the car is running pretty rich, I feel like. I said, I know the car always did this. It always blew something out, but this seems a bit excessive. So that was the baseline. Pretty terrible. So after the baseline, we kind of knew where to go with the thing. So work on the tune, obviously, and then we changed a couple things. So we went from a manual boost controller to a Turbo XS electronic boost controller. I wanted to do that anyway, but I just hadn't got to it because, I mean, everything else has been going on. And so I said, go ahead and do it while it's down there. I want you guys to install it, all that kind of stuff. And so they did that. So then we got the car tuned again by Chris at Slowpoke, and he did a full retune on the car. And we actually did 2 tunes because talking to the guy at the shop, he kind of eased my mind a little bit on E85, and so we are now running E85 on this thing, and so we have both maps on the car, 93 and E85, and the E85 map is spicy. So we're running E85 now, I guess, for the foreseeable future. The car, he said the car loves E85, and so I'm going to be running that now, even though I was pretty adamant about wanting to be on pump gas only. It just seems to make more sense to do 85, so we're going to do that. He told me to put this stuff in the gas tank like once a month, maybe. I don't need to do this. He said unless the car's sitting for a while, it doesn't need to have this kind of stuff put in it, but if I wanted to put this cleaner in there once a month or every 5 tanks of gas, go ahead and do that if I wanted to. So we probably end up doing something like that, but while the car was down there, we were a couple hundred miles from being done with the break-in on everything on the car, and so I said go ahead and change all the driveline fluids. Everything needs to be changed out because it's down there with you, and I want you to do it that way. I know it's done right, I know it's done properly, like all the levels, all that kind of stuff, and so just go ahead and do all that too. So we have all new fluids in everything, the rear diff, transfer case, transmission. We now have synthetic oil in the car. We're running VR1. But after they retuned the car, he sent me this video about the car, cold start, first thing in the morning. He came into the shop, fired the car up, and this was the idle, and it was worlds different than what it was doing before. Such a smooth idle, smooth voltage. Nothing was dropping, nothing was all over the place. It was just, I was so blown away by that, just being that smooth, and it was like it never had an issue at all. I was just like, I can already tell how much better the car runs just from that. I don't know about you, but that to me seems light years better than this. Speaking of a cold start, let's go ahead and do one of those right now. So then after they got the car retuned, all that kind of stuff, they wanted to work on like how the car was driving, things of that nature. So they did like 20 pulls on the dyno with this thing, and he said every pull there was no issue whatsoever. He didn't even check the voltage because it was never a problem. He said it was like it never dropped off, it never did anything. So I feel like, you know, with 20 pulls of data in there, if something was going to rear its head, it would have showed itself, and it did not. So apparently the tune fixed everything, which would make sense because if a car has a bad tune, it's not going to run the best. And so, yeah, he took the car on the road as well. He said he could not get the car to die, nothing like it was doing with me. So I am so glad that I did not dive into that and changing the alternator and all that stuff just to find out the car is still doing the same thing. There was just something about it that was just telling me this is not the alternator. I didn't know what it was, but I just felt like in my gut it was not the alternator. I even told him beforehand, I was like, look, if this thing starts giving you problems with like the computer's this or the computer's that or like whatever, because these are old computers, I was like, just let me know and we'll order a Haltech and put it on there because I want the car, it's down there with you. I want the car to come back to me running like it should, and if that's what it takes, then just tell me and we'll do it, and we'll take care of it while it's down there because I want it to, like I said, come back and not be sitting in the garage. Luckily, it never came to that. We are still on the stock ECU for now. I do want to do a Haltech probably next year. I just want to enjoy the car for a minute. You know what I mean? Like I have been working on this car for so long. I have not been able to like enjoy the car and drive it for so long. I just want to drive the car for a little bit. So that's in the future, but yeah, for now we're on stock ECU running both maps. And so, yeah, and also I forgot to say this, we now have AC in the car. They fixed all that. They went through the system, charged it, everything. So we have AC in the car. So that was also turning on the AC, all that kind of stuff in the car still didn't install. So an entire overview of the shop visit with the car. We got a few Titan bolts, a electronic boost controller, AC, and 2 brand new tunes, one E85, 193, and the car's running like a monster. So I guess that being said, you guys all want to see the dyno pull at the end of the thing, so this is the pull. See the ass of that car squat down? Now, let's talk numbers. This car, that dyno down there at his shop is a Mustang dyno, which he said consistently runs about 15% lower than a normal dyno jet dyno, which that's always been the case. That's been the case for years. Mustang dynos always read lower. They're more of like a realistic like road kind of dyno where it has like load on the car, but that's always been the case. They've been deemed ego killers for years, but I was not chasing numbers, so I didn't really care what the numbers showed. I just wanted the car to be running and to be healthy, but the numbers on the car are, we are running about 37 pounds of boost on this thing, and it put down 530 horsepower on that dyno, and he said that dyno consistently runs about 14 to 15% lower, so if you add, I'll go 14%, that makes it around 604 horsepower, which is crazy. Making the choice to send the car to that shop was well worth it to me. To know, to have the peace of mind and to have the car running like it is now was well worth it. So yeah, this thing is a cooking now. I couldn't be happier with how this went. That went better than I expected on a lot of things, and I'm just so glad that we got everything ironed out with this car and it wasn't a bunch of major issues and we were able to get the car running like an absolute beast, and I am thrilled. Massive thank you to Justin at 4-Step Performance. Massive thank you to Chris at Slowpoke Tuning. The car runs incredible, and yeah, couldn't be happier. This also means that the car is now like done, so I can start buttoning some things up on this thing, like side skirts. Those have been off for I don't even know how long. I'm not even gonna try to count how long those have been off, but side skirts, some trim pieces, get this thing buttoned down, and it is finally like complete, and I can begin driving this thing, taking it on some road drives, maybe some mountain runs on some of the roads back home where I'm from. We'll see about all that later, but just the idea of being able to button this thing up and get it like complete and come out in the garage, start the car whenever I want to, drive it wherever I want to, all that kind of stuff with no stress or worry is a very good feeling. So if you got this far, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it very much. As always, drop a comment down below. I know you guys will have some down there, and I will see you next time. Bye.